Alright, the first thing we got going on here is there's a snap ring on this outer race of this bearing. Okay, I got a little bit excited and started going to town before I realized it, even though I watched the video beforehand and it mentions there's a snap ring there. So I think I got this bearing drove pretty hard against the snap ring. It might be difficult to remove. We're going to find out. Snap ring. Squeezing snap ring. Very difficult to remove. So I'm going to pound that bearing down in a little bit. Kind of get back to square one here. Now you would think that by now that other snap, or that other hammer that I was looking for earlier would have shown up by now, but it hasn't. Now this snap ring is kind of rusted in here, so snap ring pliers wasn't doing the job. So let's just see if I can make some progress this way. Not doing any good at all there. But since I broke the tip off my scratch awl, I can get a little more aggressive. There we go. That broke that side loose. Let's see, now this side break loose. Okay. I got them broke loose at least. Now let's see if we can get anything done. This could very well have been made more difficult by me making a mistake, but it wasn't too hard to undo. No damage done. I wasn't too worried about screwing anything up on this project up till now. I always felt like I had nothing to lose. That's why I kind of just had at it and just started giving her hell with that puller. So now let's see if we can get the snap ring out, just like snap rings typically do. You get her almost ready to come and then boing. There we go. I got her where I want her now. Yeah, the problem with this is she's just so rusty. But I think we got her. I think we're getting her. Yeah, I think we're getting her. There we go. That takes care of that. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this we're going to get the balls and stuff out of this bearing because we're going to want to cut out this inside race. Or we could hammer it out. Which way would you rather do it? I think I'd rather cut it out. But we're going to have to remove them balls if we do that. They're still in good shape. I wonder... Let me think about this for a while. I think I'm going to try pounding it out because doing that would probably make all these balls and stuff come out, and that's what I'd need to do if I was going to torch it out. So let me just give that a crack and see what we come up with. Okay, sports heads, what I ended up doing is I just put that steering knuckle on some blocking, and I just pounded out this socket this way with the socket, one that just fit in there just right, and god damn it, that worked pretty good, and it came out so easy I didn't even bother torching that one out. Maybe just for fun I'll torch out the other side when I take apart the other side. Alright, now I gotta take off the other side. I'm not gonna show you taking off the wheel or taking it apart because it's exactly the same as the first side we did. And this side here, I'm feeling a little more confident with the torch, so we'll try torching it off and see if we can get done, take it apart a little bit faster. Okay, I got the other side and steering knuckle off. And boy, does that go a lot faster when you don't have to try and video it. It also helps when you've just recently done it so you know exactly what to do. So now I'll get that hub out of there, and then I think we're going to go. I got enough confidence in my ability to cut a bearing race off a shaft that I think we can just give her hell. That's what I got. I got my cuts done, and I didn't hurt my shaft at all. If anything, I was a little too scared, I suppose, of cutting into the shaft. So the result is that I didn't get this bearing race cut in half. And when we look at our shafts, when you look at our hub shafts, they came out pretty good. I never nicked it at all with the torch. It's free of gouges and scratches. Turned out pretty decent. I wish I could have this would have showed up better. Outside there's so much glare I can't even see my viewfinder. It just looks like a mirror. And inside it's too dark to really see what's going on. And I can't get the correct lighting for you to get a good view of it. But that hub there came out relatively unscathed. Now here's the second one I did. And on this one I made 2 cuts. And once again, if anything, I think I was too cautious. I was overly cautious. I didn't want to nick up that hub, so I didn't cut far enough in. So this race was still pretty tight when I used a chisel to pound it off. And I can't even remember I have that on camera or not. But if you look at some other videos where they grind a cut in there, I was basically doing the same thing once they got it cracked. On my second hub, I never nicked it with the torch at all, but I just didn't cut it off enough, and when I was driving it off, I nicked up this hub, okay? I don't know if it was the rough edge from the cut or if it was from the chisel, probably a little bit of both. It isn't going to make any difference. I can clean that up and emery cloth it down. It's not going to make a darn bit of difference. But I should have had a little bit more courage when it came to cutting on that race. Now, the next thing we got here is the other one. The other knuckle, I drove the race out with a socket, similar to what you'd see on other videos doing this. This one here, I'm going to cut out with the torch. At least try to, for 2 reasons. First of all, for some reason, I tried driving this one, and it just ain't budging. And second of all, the main reason I'm doing this job here is because my wife's Ford Explorer, eventually that's going to need new rear wheel bearings, okay? And I watched Eric, the car guy, and that guy knows what he's doing. He's been a mechanic for a long, long time, and he has a 20-ton press. And he could not press out those Ford Explorer rear wheel bearings. He had to cut them out with a torch. So this is my beater Honda. Parts are cheap. Junkyard parts are cheap. It's easy to take apart. It's a great thing to practice on. So I'm going to try and cut out this inside race, because that is exactly what I'm going to have to do when it comes time to put new bearings, rear wheel bearings in the Ford Explorer. Trying to do here is just get it a little bit red hot, get a little area red hot, and then just lift this oxygen handle, and it'll instantly burn away some of that race. So let's see what happens here. I hope I'm not in the way of the camera. If I am, so be it. All right, now I'm going to see if that does the trick, if I can pound that out now. Just the slightest nick right there, but holy cow, it ain't too bad. And I knocked that out in just 2 hits. So that was kind of a good deal. I got that bearing race out of there without destroying that steering knuckle. So that's a good deal. Might have to do a little bit of cleanup with some emery cloth, but she ain't too bad. And the most important thing, more important than this car, is you know, I'll be able to take care of the Ford Explorer bearings. I think I got some pretty good confidence that I can do that. And like I said, Eric the Car Guy, he's been doing this for years. He's got his own channel, Eric the Car Guy. Now he just does one channel, Eric the ETCG1, where he mostly talks about issues rather than does repair videos anymore. But the Eric the Car Guy videos are still up there, and he's got this one where he replaces the rear wheel bearings in a Ford Explorer. And like I said, that guy's got years of experience as a mechanic, and he's got all the tools. He's got a 20-ton shop press, and he could not get those rear wheel bearings out without cutting them. So I wanted to get a little bit of practice cutting out a bearing, cutting a bearing race out of a shaft or out of a bore. I did both here, and now I'm reasonably confident that I can do that Ford Explorer job when that comes out. Now I'm going to go to town, and I'm going to get the parts, and we'll put this back together. All right, we're going to drive the new bearing in to the knuckle now, and I got that new bearing in the freezer because it'll contract and get a little smaller. Maybe get a couple thousandths of an inch or something, maybe make it a little bit easier to put in. I considered heating that knuckle, but then I thought that probably isn't going to help very much. I mean, if you can imagine baking a donut, you know, and then if you imagine this area here is like a donut. As the donut expands and you bake it, the hole in the center gets smaller because it doesn't just expand on the outside, it expands toward the inside. So I don't think heating that knuckle is going to help any. But I got everything ready to go here because I don't want that bearing to warm up too quickly on me. I want to get it in there before it gets warm. So let's see what happens when I try to put this thing in. All right. I put my bearing in the freezer. I also put my hubs in the freezer because they'll have to be driven into the bearings. And we want to give ourselves every advantage possible, so we're going to put a little bit of some WD-40 on there to help that slide in. There is a lip there where the bearing bottoms out. And also clean out your snap ring groove. So before you get this far along, once you get all taken apart, you should clean out your snap ring groove. And now we'll just pound around the edge of this bearing and drive her home. We're going to drive her until it hits that kind of flange on the back side. And you'll be able to tell the difference in both sound and feel once you get to the point where this is seated all the way down. Take your time. Don't hit too hard. Hit it evenly all the way around, and the bearing will work its way down. I don't think I showed you pounding it out, but that was basically taking a socket, but you're coming from the other side, and you just whack the hell out of it. Make sure you hit only on this outer race, not on that center race. Okay, we got her almost all the way in. We still got a little bit to go yet. Okay, now we've gotten to the point where it's all the way even with the top surface of that knuckle, or the outside surface, whatever you want to say. So now we're going to take the old bearing and use that for a bearing punch to drive the rest of the way home. It's probably the trickiest part. Once you get this past that lip of the knuckle, then that bearing will stay where you want it. Won't be quite as critical a thing. We're getting there, but we still have to go all the way down to that snap ring groove gets exposed. We are getting there. I wonder if I can put some round piece in there. I don't know. Just kind of keep that aligned. That ain't working. We'll just keep going. Okay, I got it a little bit below the surface of that. Okay, I can see the snap ring groove, and I believe we got her seated all the way in. It looks like it. I don't want to beat on that any more than necessary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and install the snap ring. I'm pretty sure that snap ring groove is fully exposed there. And so let's put the snap ring in. Alright, so I cleaned up my snap ring on a wire wheel, the outside edge of it. I also cleaned up the inside edge of the shield. I'm not going to put the shield in until I get everything done, because probably pounded in the hub will knock it out. So we'll do that last. But we're going to put this snap ring in right away because I don't want this bearing to come out of its desired position while we pound in the hub. So we'll squeeze this sucker together. Got her almost in. Just about there. Let me just make sure it's seated all the way in. I don't think that's quite a groove. I think I gotta pound that in just a little bit more. Alright, let's see if that snap ring fits in. It absolutely fits in better. I'd say that snap ring's seated in there just fine now. Now we'll put in the hub.